Hey YouTube, it is League Turnover today, and with it we have all leagues open: Great League, Ultra League, Master League. I think the majority will play Great League, and if you want to check out top teams, I did a video for that this morning. But in this video we will look at Ultra League, and with Ultra League, I found something very similar in the Great League, and that is in the past couple seasons we've had obviously buff Pokemon, and they rise to the rankings like you're seeing. Bellybolt at number 1, and Fortress here in the Ultra League is at number 4. But it's basically the new Pokemon sprinkled in, Pokemon that have been very, very meta forever, right? So you have Giratina that's been here, Jellicent that's here, Glaring Weezing since this came out, Regidrago, if you want to know why this has risen so high. Actually, I'll go over it in a second here. But you'll notice that it's just like Pokemon that got buffed this season that have become meta, but also just kind of sprinkled in with Pokemon that have kind of always been meta in this league. And that's what you're seeing with Ultra League, right? So you got like the buff Pokemon this season in Bellybolt with buff Parabolic Charge, and Fortress with buff Bug Bite, and Galarian Moltres now with that Fly Brave Bird, and Glycopod with Fury Cutter, and the new Tentacruels are now running Acid on this, so Acid got buffed there. And then Regidrago, because of the Dragon Breath, Dragon Energy, I went over that yesterday morning in a video why it picks up now. It went from it picked up 24 wins, 26 wins. It went from like 4 or 6 wins to 30 wins. So a huge improvement with 2 moves here. And then again, Credilli Acid. So you got a bunch of those Pokemon. But mixed in with, I mean, Lapras just got Psywave a couple seasons ago, but Lapras and Dusknoir and Feraligatr and your Giratinas and your Primeapes and your Jellicents. So these Pokemon have been meta in the Ultra League forever now just because of their movesets or typing or stat product or combo of all 3. So it's not surprising to see all those Pokemon on this list. So when you're thinking of teams, it's really just going to be like, can old teams still work? Probably just like think of your old teams that you use in Ultra League just with a couple of the sort of new, like Bellybolt should be everywhere, because Bellybolt with Parabolic Charge is very, very hard to beat. So maybe you'll see a little more ground to try and offset that. So with that, we will go into a few teams, starting with the team that I put out. And the team that I put out, of course, I've got to test the number 1 Pokemon, and that is Bellybolt. And I said even in the title that Parabolic Charge is going to get nerfed next season. There's no way that a move that does a good amount of damage, again, Parabolic Charge is not a nuke by any means, but it does still like 70-ish plus damage. There's no way that a move that does 70 damage and the speed it gets to should boost your defense every single time. It is very, very difficult to go against. So there's really only two ways you're going to beat this Pokemon. Find something that resists the Sucker Punch, like a Dark Pokemon, or like a Fairy Pokemon, or more so something that will hit super effective against Electric and resist the Electric, like a Ground Pokemon. So like when the Ultra League was out the first time around, Double Ground Team was on a lot of people's radars because of how strong this is. So to beat the ground Pokemon, I paired it with Feraligatr as a safe swap and Talonflame in the back as a flyer. You can use a different flyer. I just wanted a flyer to beat the ground, and I figured that Talonflame, since I had it, and I've had it around for seasons now. Again, another Pokemon that has been meta in the Ultra League for a while now. So Feraligatr, safe swap, Talonflame in the back. Often I would just, if I saw any sort of neutral lead, it was basically Parabolic Charge, almost single or double shield this thing, and just run with like a 4 times boosted defense. It can get out of hand here. But that is all I played. It was on with a limited Great League Cup, and that is all I played. But luckily for myself, Homeslice Henry and Yonkis here played others. Again, I actually looked at the sort of top content creators that still put out videos. So I also looked at Rise, and I looked at it's Axon, because he's just flying up the subscriber count here. So both of them did not have any Ultra League teams from when the Ultra League was out. They had some Summer Cup Ultra League teams from last week, but that was a limited meta. But they did not actually have any Ultra League teams from the previous. So not a lot of people are playing Ultra League. So thank you, the couple that did here. So we have Tentacruel, Credilli, and Guzzlord. So I think Guzzlord now is just going to be replaced with Regidrago. I think Regidrago is that much better with the new moveset, so I would expect that is going to be the replacement there. You'll notice that Bullet Seed is being used on Credilli. It depends how you want to use it. Honestly, depends how you want to use Credilli, and just based on this alone, your front Pokemon is weak to ground and has a Poison Sting, so you probably want some more coverage for ground, and Bullet Seed charges faster and allows you to get to your charge move faster, which gives you better coverage for the meta. So I think that's probably why you run Bullet Seed. You can also run Acid. Poison Sting, and there's a couple Pokemon that play a lot different, and you're going to see them on these lists, and that is Tentacruel and Dragalge, and I think both play way better. Tentacruel, now getting to those, had Poison Jab, which did a good amount of damage, but it was slower on the charge, so you're rarely ever getting to the Blizzard. Scald, you do a decent amount there. But now, going with the Poison Sting, which is a fast charging move, and being able to get to those Scalds and Blizzard, which is a really hard-hitting move. So great coverage, hard-hitting with a fast charging move there, which makes Tentacruel a little stronger this season. And there's your other one, Dragalge, with Primeape and Galarian Moltres. So Galarian Moltres running Fly and Payback here. Fly, you can run Fly Playback or Fly Raybird. I think Payback does give you a lot of coverage in this meta, where Fly would be resisted on like steals and stuff. But Fly almost seems like a must, whether you want Fly Payback or Fly Raybird. Fly makes Galarian Moltres much, much better. Being able to throw a move that hits pretty hard and you don't need to sort of leave like you do with Brave Bird, or lower your defense times 3 is the other option. So Sucker Punch, Fly combo there, very, very deadly on Moltres with whatever second move you want to use. You know, using Rage Fist, Ice Punch combo here as more of a safe swap role. And then the new Acid Dragalge. Acid allows you to get to the... When you used to use this Pokemon before, you had to use it with Dragon Tail. And basically 98% of the time, you just had to go Dragon Tail, Aqua Tail, because it was too slow to get to the Outrages. But now Acid does a decent amount of damage, while at the same time allowing you to get to Outrage at decent pacing. So this Pokemon plays way, way different, and I think way better. You still have an okay to good amount of fast move damage pressure, while now actually applying charge move pressure that you really could not do before with this Pokemon. So I think Dragalge is a huge improvement. Another one, we kind of seen this. So Talonflame, Flyer, Guzzlord, and Lapras as your safe swap. Pretty straightforward. Guzzlord's going to be weak to fighting, and it's going to be weak to fairy, and a flying fire will deal with those. And Lapras is your safe swap there with your Spywave, Sparkling Aria, and then Note Skull Bash for coverage in case you get into like a mirror match or something, or some other water Pokemon like Blastoise or whatever. You don't just want water and ice as your charge move. Skull Bash gives you a little more coverage on that. And then another Pokemon that has been buffed is Samurott. So Samurott, I'm going to say this just like I said when my Great League analysis, if you don't have a Samurott build, do you need to build one? No, I don't think you need to build one. I think if, pending you have a Feraligatr. If you have a Feraligatr, there's really no reason to build it. You know, Fury Cutter, Shadow Claw, both charging very fast, both doing a good amount of chip damage, and then getting to those Hydros, Stab Hydros, both going to hit pretty hard. And now even this one's running Blizzard. You can run Mega Horn. Blizzard probably has more coverage in the Ultra League, especially with like Giratinas, which are still meta. So that is why they're running Blizzard. And then, yeah, Galarian, Weezing, and Jellicent have been kind of meta since the beginning. Weezing is going to have problems sort of with Steel. It's going to have problems with Ground to a certain extent. So that is why you bring in double water Pokemon in the back. Jellicent also to handle that. And I think one more here. Tested out Nidoqueen. I looked at Nidoqueen, and yes, it is an improvement. I don't think it's an improvement enough that you need to use. It does play differently. So for those of you who, again, haven't played since Season 1, I know all the history of these Pokemon. Nidoqueen, there's certain times that Niantic nerfs moves for specific Pokemon. And we've seen it with Registeel, with Zapcannon nerf. We've seen it with Walrein and Icicle Spear nerf. We've seen it with Noctowl, because either the Wing Attack or Sky Attack was Noctowl nerf. And here they nerfed Poison Fang, because you had Poison Jab, which was a hard-hitting fast move, with Poison Fang, which lowered your opponent's defense. So at the time, you can basically just 1 to 2 shield Shadow Nidoqueen and just out Poison Jab, Poison Fang your opponent into oblivion. So they nerfed Poison Fang. So now you can run Poison Sting with it. And what Poison Sting allows you to do is charge faster, but it doesn't do the fast move damage. So what's the positive about it getting Poison Sting is that you're going to get to these Earth Powers quick. And the Earth Power is a good move. So having that fast charging Earth Power coverage is great. Now, Poison Fang's an okay-ish move. It's not an amazing move, but it does lower your opponent's defense. That being said, like Poison Sting's not going to do a ton of fast move damage pressure, so even lowering your opponent's defense, maybe to lower it and then land like an Earth Power is probably the best way to play this. But maybe just going straight Earth Power is also a pretty good way of playing Nidoqueen now. But in my opinion, there's probably other better poison ground Pokemon. But again, if you're worried about Belly Bolt, having a ground Pokemon with a ground type move is pretty solid in this meta, and that is why you see a water double ground team in the back, probably to deal with the Belly Bolt with double ground in the back. So that is the Ultra League. Like I said, I expect many people to play the Great League. We will focus on the Great League this week. I have some videos from earlier in the season. Those who have submitted, if you want to submit some battles, link in the description. So I've got definitely some battles from early in the season from people who submitted early. I just never got to them. So we'll start off with the week with those and then move into the newer submissions for this week. At the same time, it is Global Go Fest on Saturday and Sunday. So Friday, we'll do it Friday morning. We are definitely going to focus on Global Go Fest, all the Pokemon that are that you can catch and that are in raids, a big in-depth analysis of Global Go Fest Pokemon that you need to focus on. So stay tuned for that this week. That is it. Hope you are having a good day, and I will see you guys in the next one.